Welcome to Witches of Workshop, a writing community podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Caroline, and this is where we brew better stories together. So if you want to be critiqued on the podcast, just send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's get started.
Hello. Felix is really into Lionel Richie lately.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, tracks.
I thought you were going to sing Adele.
No.
Hello from the... Does she ever tour?
Yeah. I think she's just like a Vegas scout now, right?
Oh, Adele?
I don't know. The last time I've seen somebody go to one of her concerts, it was in Vegas. My cousin Anna, who works for some record company, she spent $900 and she went and saw Adele by herself.
I mean, that sounds worth it. A little serenade just for me. That's very Enya of her to like never appear. Except
Right?
yes, like doesn't Enya not do concerts? So I've heard.
I mean, although, can you imagine an Enya concert? I want to Google that.
That'd be so ethereal.
I think that I would
think
just
that would-
laugh. What was the one that everybody...
Say no way. Say no way.
No, what's the one that was in the OC when Marissa died?
I didn't watch that show, but
What you say? Remember that one?
That's Enya?
Which is, I think Enya is like a part of that. Is she not?
Oh.
Am I making that up? I'm probably
I'm gonna
wrong.
look it up afterward.
Lauren, you idiot.
Also, it's good to be back since we've just taken a summer break.
Let's use your break.
Take a little break. We hope you all did super duper fun, super duper fun
We hope
things.
you wrote. Did you write things while we were taking a break? I hope you did.
Let us know what you were writing. But today we're bringing back 2 of our favorite guests. Okay, you might have heard of them:
Big deals.
Amy
Big deal.
Martinez and Sally Hamilton.
Sally Hamilton.
They are like the Tom and Zendaya of the author world. Like
They
they're
are.
a power couple. I cannot get enough of Tom and Zendaya. That's
I'm
literally what my
so
feed is full of.
obsessed with them.
They're so wholesome.
And if they don't work out, like, I feel like the souls that they will crush, but
They
like,
have to work out.
but also he's a short king, and I'm so here for that because I got a short king,
No.
and I just
And
like,
to be with a taller woman.
and like they don't like so like.
They
Every time I see her like wedding bands on when she's out, I've been waiting for him to wear one though.
I know.
I've been looking.
wearing his band. So interesting.
I
But they already give like have been married for 20 years vibes, which is what I love about them.
they're just so cute. Do you see the one where he's asking her like what the place they're going to? The gelato place, and
Marie.
he's got a little name for it. Yes. Cute. I'm obsessed.
So we're about to have the author Tom and Zendaya
Yes.
on the podcast.
For sure.
They're such great writers, such great critiquers.
Yeah. And so
And they're both just as opinionated as we are, if not, I dare say more.
I would say a lot more.
So basically today's episode is going to be lots of hot takes. If you haven't listened to our previous episode with Alex, I would go to that one to get like his author journey. It's very interesting.
It is.
And today we're going to talk more to Sally about hers because she's had a lot of exciting things.
Really
happen in her
exciting.
career recently.
So yeah. So I think it's going to be.
We're going to get into it.
We're going to have fun.
But first,
But first.
we need y'all to do something.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need it to do?
Well, what we need you to do is if you're enjoying the pod, I would
If you're not enjoying it.
even if you're not, if you could rate, review, and subscribe, we would be very grateful.
We would just be like, because it just helps. It helps more people find us. It helps grow this online writing community. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a little comment, give it a like. You have to engage. Silent listeners, we love you. We see you. But remember that your ratings are anonymous. It's not like you're going to leave your mark on.
Yes.
Like you could still be anonymous and still
So,
be silent.
so please, that helps us so much.
We need a validation test for that.
Please. But it's also good for helping us just like grow. So
Mhm.
come
So we
on.
can keep getting more great guests for you guys.
Yes, and keep doing
Keep
this.
getting more pages. And that's the other thing. If you're working on something and you want some outside thoughts, just besides being in your own little like spirally self-degrading chamber, email them.
Send it over. It's anonymous. And then hopefully just like all of the times we go to workshop with something where we're not sure what's going on and get great feedback, that helps us push through. Maybe that we can do that for you. So come on.
A little push you need. A little push you need.
Yeah.
Well, are we ready to get into some what's brewing?
I think so. Why don't you start off? Well, tell us. What in your life cauldron, dear?
Oh, it's so very adult and boring, but I got a new couch, and I'm excited about this.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Because my husband and I haven't gotten a new couch since before we got married. So we got to retire our first ever couch together. But now, because I've actually invested in the couch, my full-time job is trying to figure out how to stop my cats from scratching all over it. So that's what's new with me. I love the couch.
I love this.
Please don't scratch it. What about you?
I went and saw The Notebook, the musical.
You're a bird, I'm a bird.
Oh my gosh, it was adorable.
Was it the Broadway cast?
No, so it's the touring cast.
Okay.
But our middle, so there's 3 Allie and Noahs in this. So there's an old one, there's an adult, and then there's the teenage. And so there's 3 actors for each character.
Do they look alike?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is
that's cute.
So good and literally sobbing. So it is, and the music, there's a song, I'm just going to tell you right now, where she basically says, the line is, I didn't know that the last time I'd leave my house was the last time I'd leave my house. And at the very end, she says, the last time I'd see my house is what it is. And it's her younger version singing to her Alzheimer's older self in the hospital.
Oh my gosh. That's devastating.
Literally just
oh my gosh. So was it more sad than the movie, you feel like?
It's just I feel like when you hear those, there's a song by Noah called Leave the Light On when he's waiting for her to come back. And he basically talks about how he wonders if this hole in his chest is ever going to be filled by anything. And literally you're just God. It is. So Ingrid Michaelson, who is a
yes, love her.
Pop, but not really. She's a Sarah Bareilles, singer-songwriter. She wrote all the music.
She did amazing.
I've listened
gorgeous.
To some of the music. It's gorgeous. So, yes, but I will say this. There was a husband and wife sitting next to us, and the husband was on his phone throughout the entire thing.
Oh, at that point, go home. Why
are you even here?
She should have gone with one of her girlfriends.
Literally, and we were just saying, if our husband was yeah, I'll go with you, and then proceeded to be on his phone,
I'd literally send him home. I'd be I don't want you here.
Would you not start a fight?
Yes.
Because I was I literally at one point, because
I told him to go home and I'd be all right, I'm an Uber.
I love making uncomfortable eye contact with people who are doing things wrong. So I literally looked over at him and I was what are we doing here? Didn't even faze him.
Did she seem upset?
I couldn't tell. Honestly, for the first half, she was actually on her phone too, which didn't love. But in the second half, she was much better. But he was literally
and also just so distracting for everyone else, especially at a musical.
And we were in high up, and we still paid $100 for these tickets.
Yeah, this strikes me as maybe people who just are well off and get tickets to everything, and they're fine, I guess we'll just go to this musical tonight because we got nothing else to do.
I hope they get divorced. Honestly, I can't imagine the audacity. Disgusted.
Yeah, I mean, pour one out for her. Well, where are you at with your writing? You've been moving and grooving, Miss Lady.
I have indeed. I sent off the beta read for my book. We'll call it Olive for now. And
tell us a little bit about it though. What's the one sentence pitch?
I don't know. I'm so terrible.
I mean, it's emo girl rom-com.
I've been telling people that it's people we meet on vacation meets Wednesday,
which is awesome. That's great.
So yes, we have a lovely mortician Olive who gets up to hijinks with her best friend, Danny, at his grandmother's funeral.
I mean, color me intrigued. I'm beta reading it right now. I'm loving it.
We'll see.
I'm reading other, currently published books, and I keep going back to pick up my Kindle to beta read yours, because it's just, frankly, more fun. I'm loving it.
We love that.
Can we explain, what beta reading is, in case people don't know? Okay, so, because, these are just types of, words. There's so, writing is a cult. We have our own language for all these things, and sometimes you don't know if you're, new to the cult. So, beta reading, I mean, is exactly what it sounds like. Like when you finish a draft, you want to send it to some beta readers to get them to read the whole thing and give you their feedback, like so that you can go make changes accordingly.
And I think people do it differently. It's from like people who come back with like developmental edits where they're like, hey, this didn't make sense, or I mean, down to like, hey, you had a typo here and you had a typo there. So like it kind of covers a really big scale. But I think one of the greatest things that happened when I got Nadia, Agent Nadia, one of the things she said to me was like, it feels so polished. And I'm like, well, yes, that's because I've had so many people read it and check it for issues. Yeah. So I think that it is just a really helpful.
It's a really helpful tool.
It is.
If you have questions about how to find beta readers, you can send us a little email. We'll give you some tips.
We'd love to talk about it.
So yeah, we're beta reading.
Yeah. So we'll tell me what you're doing.
You know, I'm still bouncing back and forth between a couple of projects at a time. And then I did start kind of sort of revising, an old thing because I got some, not like beta feedback. It was almost like, well, yeah, I guess beta feedback from this person because she had never read the full draft before. But one of our, Leslie Lutz, we had her on the pod. Amazing critiquer. I asked her to read this thing that I've been querying because I was just like, I feel like something's not right, but I'm not sure what. And she read it and like kind of agreed with me, but not like as much, like not as much as I thought needed to be changed. So I've just now started going back through, and it's good because I'm going back through and I'm like, this is good. This is still good, but I'm like, but there are some things that I'm like,
distance is also a really, like, it's a magnifier for things too. Because sometimes you go back and you're like, oh my God, no wait, I am awesome. And then you get to a point you're like,
yeah,
no, I need to change that.
It's a powerful editing tool.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think like when I got my first round of beta reads, like there were some things I remember like everybody agreeing on and me being like, no. And now in hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, like let's change that. Like, come on now. Like there came a point in my story where everyone was just like, okay, your main character's being all crazy. I'm like, can't really root for her. And I was like, well, she's supposed to be crazy. And she is, and she'll still be cuckoo bananas. But Leslie helped me put like, well, you could change this and change that. And then I would be like, I'm tracking with her now.
Right.
So just things like that. Also, so yeah, sometimes distance makes you more receptive to changing things. You were like white knuckling where you're like, nope, I can't do that. And so at this point, I'm like, yeah, whatever. We'll change it all. So that's fun.
That's one of my favorite places to get is the like, whatever. Let's just make it better. Like, why was I so hesitant?
I know. Why was I like married to this and that? So that's what we're doing. That's what's brewing.
I know. Okay. So today, as we mentioned, we're joined by your favorite author power couple, good old A. Lee Martinez, Alex, as you all know, and Sally Hamilton. So as Caroline said, if you haven't listened to our previous episode with Alex, go there for kind of the deep dive of his journey.
But yeah, he's a science fiction, fantasy author. And then Sally Hamilton, she is the current president of the DFW Writers Workshop. She writes cozy paranormal fantasy, among other things. And she is now repped, which we will talk about, by the one and only Sarah Crow. If you don't know Sarah Crow, big time agent.
She a big deal. Hey, girl.
Sally. So join us in welcoming the Tom and Zendaya of the author world. So I said that you write cozy paranormal fantasy.
Yes.
You probably write other things too.
I do. Is this working?
It is.
Okay. Hey, cool. Yes. I write other things. I mostly write fantasy oriented stuff that's not real, but fun.
Not real, but fun.
It's emotionally real.
Okay.
It's real to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's realer than real.
Well, I mean, we were talking about last week how sometimes like you can buy into anything if the emotion feels right too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
so like,
you make it feel real.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I think that's
because you're good at what you do.
That's right.
Speaking of being good at what you do, you won the DFW Con 2025 Gong Show.
I did.
Okay. Do people know what the Gong Show is? We should tell them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell them what the Gong Show is, and then tell us why you think your pitch got through. Because when we say won, we mean smash hit. Everybody wanted it.
It was wild. Yeah.
And then it
actually got you an agent.
It did.
It's Shark Tank, where every shark was like, I wanna give you my money for no equity. I just wanna be part. Okay,
Yeah.
tell us.
Okay, so the DFW Con Gong Show has been a staple for like I think the 18 years that they've been going, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite event of the entire time. I was so mad when they moved in the morning because I am not a morning person.
Same.
But the Gong Show is essentially kind of like the old game show.
It's the Gong Show.
It's the Gong Show. Yeah. So if you don't know what the Gong Show is because you were born in the 90s,
I was like,
terrifying.
I was like, Gong
It
Show?
is me. Okay. So what the Gong Show is that authors enter their query letters blindly with no identifying information on it. And then it is picked from a giant pile. And the voice of the Gong Show, George Goldthwait, reads it aloud. And there is a panel of agents and editors. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're at the front, and they will gong when they would have stopped reading it had they received it in their inbox. Now, of course, they're instructed to not gong if it's like for genre, because, you know.
Right.
So it takes 3 gongs. And then Russell Connor, who is our MC, will ask, why'd you gong? And so they'll tell you. And it's great because you learn like, get to it, you know, like jump in, give me what's interesting. There's always debate on whether or not page count and genre should be at the top. It should. I think so. I think so too. That way they're like, okay.
That's what we're doing.
One of the other bugaboos is don't call it a fiction novel. If it's fiction, it's a novel.
Yeah, I've never thought of that, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, these agents, they receive hundreds of queries a week. They're looking for any little thing to be like, all right, I don't know if I want to work with this person. But also, there's a lot of them that are like, you know what? I kept reading, you know, I kept going. So anyway, I get there. It's like, it's at 8:00 in the morning on a Saturday.
Okay.
Sunday, even
Sunday.
worse.
Yeah.
Had you ever submitted before?
No, I had never
That's
done it because I
crazy.
was terrified.
Because y'all, there's like a huge pile.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty low percentage that yours will get drawn.
Yeah.
Because they do it like randomly.
Yeah.
So you're waiting there with like your butt cheeks clenched.
Well-
If you put yours in there, you don't
Well,
know.
George says that you have a better chance if you staple a $20 bill to it.
Valid.
George.
So what happened is I lost my voice that weekend because I was a little sick. I had a little, like, I don't know, postnasal drainage or whatever. And then I'm the president of the writer's workshop, and people need me to talk about stuff constantly. And it was just, it was gone. I couldn't talk at all. And I'm doing the same accent that Caroline likes to do. With a little more cigarette.
Sounds like a chain smoker of 60 years.
Yeah. So I was just like, I cannot pitch this book, like, because I had gone to the cocktail party, and I was like, oh, they're gonna think that I have like COVID and I'm just breathing on them, and they're not gonna want to have anything to do with me.
And the room's so crowded, you'd have to speak up, and you can't.
Yeah, and I can't. Like, literally, one of our sweet workshop members, who is a voice coach, she's like, Sally, honey and lemon, and stop talking. And I was like, I can't. I feel like, I gotta pitch my book. This is my chance. This is my moment.
How many years have you been working on this book?
This one was like 2.5. Which is actually really good for me.
I mean, yeah,
but
it was ready.
Yeah, it was ready. I knew that I was like, this is the one. And I think that maybe one of the reasons why I hadn't entered the Gong Show before that, because I was just like, I like this book. I don't know if this is the pitch. I don't know if this is the one. But this one.
That's not why. What are you talking about? You were just afraid.
I
You
wasn't.
just were afraid. What are you talking about?
Both? It can be both.
You know the business. You don't have to be ready. You got to jump
Well,
in.
that's true too.
You know enough.
It's true. I don't know. I got that ADHD rejection sensitive.
It's hard. It's something.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's something that's hard to get over.
Sensitive girlies, right?
Right.
You are in the right place.
Yes. So, but what happened is I rolled in on a Sunday morning. I sat next to my good friend Laura May, who you guys know, and she had actually Beta read my book for me and helped me come up with my comps because she's a librarian. And it's like, pro tip, if you need comps for your book, have a friendly librarian read it for you.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Reaching out to her. Okay.
Yes, she's amazing, and I love
She
her.
is the smartest. Ugh, love her.
So about 20 minutes in, George opens up and he starts reading my query letter. I was like, oh no, it's me.
You're like, it's happening.
It's
Well, and you know, but you also know what everything that happens. Everybody in the workshop is also like, we know that. We all know. We know that book.
We're like, where is she? Where is she? And I was so
you
far off.
were way off the side.
I had gotten there a little late, and I just wanted to sit next to somebody I knew, and I saw Laura. And I was like, I'll sit next to Laura. And I was like, I grabbed Laura. I was like, Laura, that's my book. And she's like, I know.
She's like, yeah, I read
Yeah, I read it. I'm aware. So anyway, so it starts off with what was it? Cursed clowns, haunted hoarder house, uh, haunted murderous mink stole, blah blah blah, and everybody, like, you could see all the agents went, hello, I love all of these things. And so I guess because I just jumped in, I was like, what's interesting about the book? These are the things that are interesting. And then I talk about the two main characters, and we get all the way through the end of it, and there's no gong, not a single gong.
And I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Like when I say won the gong show, we mean not a single agent gong. And these agents are like,
and they were trying to be mean too, some of them.
And you set the standard.
I did.
You did. It's not going to be duplicated probably for another 30 years.
No, it was crazy. It was like I honestly living a dream, because I love the Gong Show, because I respect it so much and what the agents do, and they
all loved it.
Yeah. So then George gets to the end, and you're supposed to remove all identifying stuff, but I didn't. I forgot to take out my last sentence. So at the end it said, I've been a member of the DFW Writers Workshop for 18 years, and I currently serve on the board as, and he pauses dramatically and looks around and says, the president.
And then everybody's like,
honestly, that was the best moment of the whole conference, was just like how excited everybody.
Oh my God, everybody was so excited.
Because that never happened before, and for it to happen to our president and someone who wrote such.
And then the mouthy agents were like, send that to me.
Send that to me.
Yeah.
Like, they were throwing elbows at each other, like, no, give it to me. And I was like,
literally the best.
And it was amazing. So I had like almost every agent on the panel was just like, send it to me, send it to me. And so I did track them down. And then I had an agent who was in the audience, who wasn't on the panel. She got my email address from the con staff and emailed me, and like, guys, that's crazy. Like, when you have been submitting and querying for like 15 plus years, just kind of screaming into the darkness, to have an agent reach out to you is crazy.
And to get that like live feedback, because that's what querying is you're shouting into the void, usually no.
But I think one of the things that people can take away from this on all levels too is like, you truly cannot succeed in this world, this life, unless you put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to do it. And it's scary. It's even scary after 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to be a little scary.
I think I needed this bitch's book. I was done. I was ready. I thought I had a good query. I've gone to the Gong Show enough. I love query letters because they're just the back of the book. Like, sell me the book in like 6 sentences, But there's a lot of people who don't really know what their story is about or what's interesting about their story. And it could be a great story, but they don't know what it is. And sometimes they need people to help them with that.
Yeah. Pitching your story is different than writing your story.
Yes. Yeah.
Can y'all talk about that? Like, whether you're writing a query letter or pitching it verbally, like, how do you know like what interesting stuff to put in there? / like, how is the story different from just like telling your friend what it's about? Like,
so I've seen a lot of people pitch their book badly, and the main thing that they focus on is the plot. And the plot is part of the story, obviously, but if I sat down and spent time like, okay, so is this about an old lady who goes to estate sales and she picks up cursed objects, and then her granddaughter comes and stays with her, and then weird stuff happens, and you could just keep going, and you can literally watch the agent's eyes just kind of glaze over, because they're like, okay. But what's interesting about my story is it's a grandmother-granddaughter duo. They're slightly estranged. They're trying to save their small town. There's cursed objects, and so you're like, okay, you're trying to hit your keywords,
mistaking the synopsis for the query,
right?
I think is sometimes the problem.
And you want the elevator pitch. You want like that 1 or 2 sentences and to pique their interest. Like, you got about 6 seconds to get somebody interested.
And you're focusing on external plot, it sounds like, not the like emotional internal.
I mean, you would hope that, but the implication of the grandmother-granddaughter are slightly estranged, have to go on an adventure to save the small town. You're like, okay, this might be interesting. Like,
right.
There's implication.
Right.
Yeah.
The implication.
Yeah. Alex, what do you think about all this? I know it's been like so long since you've had to like pitch your.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have to. I don't pitch the same way, but it still comes down to. I just think in general, not just pitching. I think it's what people respond to in your book. It's not the plot people think it is, but it's what you're writing and how you're writing it. And I think it's like the power of Sally's query letter was also her voice was coming through.
Yeah.
And
it's a challenge,
because especially in summarizing in a query letter, every story sounds stupid anyway. I mean, come on. Stories are stupid. Especially, you know what if you've read any and you've done, you know what they are. You're done. You're like, oh, there's Curse of the Werewolf. They go to the country and there's a werewolf. Well, I kind of knew that. That's not what you're pitching me, right? And you're talking about like, there's a Cursed Antiques. Okay, well, I kind of know that. I've seen that before. What makes yours different? So I think the reason your query letter works so well, and the reason that I think this particular novel is strong, I think the stuff you've written before was strong too, but is because it's a combo of a good pitch, but also the query letter is really strong with your voice. And I think your voice got more confident too.
That's probably true.
Did you write the query before you like finish this book? Because that's something some authors you've had on here say is they write like the pitch first.
No. I write the book and then I know. Oh, okay. Well, because I don't know what the book's about until I get to the end.
Fair enough.
I think
I couldn't write a query like that.
Most people.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's an invalid way of doing it, because I think sometimes that can help you focus what you're about to write. But I think if you then try to fix everything towards a query letter that you've written, I think that's
right. It could be helpful, but it could be stifling.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it also kind of depends on where you are in your career. Like I know that Alex he's pitched books on spec and they're like, cool. And then he gets to the end of the book and it's like, oh, it's only about a quarter of what I actually pitched. Because
I pitched the Constance Verity trilogy.
Yeah.
And I said, here's the pitch. I said, it's not going to be anything like this. Here's the pitch. I'm not going to do this because that's not the way I write. But here's just and if you go to Amazon, and I believe if you look at the second summary of the second novel, it's completely wrong. It is the pitch I had.
It's the alpha pitch.
It's the alpha pitch, but the book is completely different. I had a whole different trajectory planned. And so they still haven't changed it on Amazon. I thought they wouldn't change it on the book. Luckily, they changed it on the book.
Okay, good.
But if you go to, like last time I checked, and I think it was only like a couple weeks ago, and I was looking at it, it's still completely different. It is the wrong, there's nothing in that story that's in the story.
But did you sell it on that?
Yeah, that's the pitch I gave them. But I told them, I'm like, this is not going to be.
You were like, here's
that. I think that's honestly sometimes publishing in a nutshell too. Like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, they know. I mean, like when I sold, once you've kind of proven you can finish a book, they just want something because they want to know that you got. So I was like, here's the thing. But like I said, I told them straight up, like, the first one will probably be closest. Second one, I have no, and then. But like so yeah, and they fixed the third book is the summary is correct. They fixed that. Okay. But the second one, like it's still on Amazon. It's just completely wrong. It's completely wrong because it's based entirely.
So Sally, that worked, right? So Gong Show like really worked.
It really worked. It did really work.
And it worked like so well that you had like the dream situation where you had two offers of agent.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about, I mean, just like is it as awesome as we imagine? And just kind of like what you learned from that process as far as like how to handle it, if you do anything differently, like how.
And how does it work for people who like don't know?
Okay, so it was great because it's like, what is this life I'm living? But all of a sudden,
I mean, by the way, this is, even though she was doing really well, now she's doing really great now. There were rejections, even though people were excited. Rejections are still part of the job.
Yeah, so just for example, the agent who got my email address and was really excited, she did reject me, and it was very nice. She was just like, "Oh, I like this, but this actually isn't what I'm looking for right now."
And also, like, just so people know, like, if you are fortunate to have this happen to you,
yes,
like, what do you do then?
Okay, so basically, what happened is, I think there were 7 agents total that basically requested just send me the full, and what was funny is that after because they're up there, they're elbowing each other. Send it to me. And then I met him in person and a couple of them were like, oh yeah, I mean, I may have gotten a little carried away, but yeah, you can send it to me.
Playing cool.
They're like trying to be cool or whatever. And so I did. And one of the agents was like, I know my friend asked for it. She's already gone, but here's her contact information. I was like, oh, that's really nice. They're helping each other, which is nice, and helping me.
But that's an important part of the business. It's very small. And so I mean, we can't talk too much about the final result, right? Mm-hmm. But like the final result of the unspoken book deal thing is, I mean, even that was because you send to somebody, if I'm right, you send to somebody, they thought it was interesting, but they knew to pass it on to somebody else.
Yes, that happened at a
So
later stage.
it's part of the thing is it's why you don't make enemies, because it's a small industry.
Yeah.
But it's also why when you're querying, you're not always querying to the person, because it might end up, they might know where to pass it on to somebody.
Yeah.
Because it is small. It's like, and that referral, like that's a great thing. So if that happens, we love that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love that.
Oh no, it's great. It's great.
So what happened is I sent it out. I had about 7 queries out. I had 3 or 4 of them that said, "Oh, you know what? No, thank you." And I was like, "That's fine." That's what I was expecting, honestly. And then I had one agent that emailed me. She was like, "I would like to have a conversation with you." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." So I literally I wanted to do it as fast as I could. And she's like, "Well, how's Sunday afternoon?" I was like, "Great. I work on Sundays, but I work at an antique mall."
Fittingly.
And I told my boss, I was like, "Hey, is it cool if I use your office for a very important phone call?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Sure." So we had an amazing interview. She was so nice. She loved my book. And I was just really, really excited to talk to her. I was ready to sort of lock in. And she's like, "Okay, so now here's what happened. You have to email the other agents who still have it. And they basically get 2 weeks to read it. So but you're just kind of giving them a heads up. Hey, somebody's offered me representation. Here's your last chance." And I was like, cool. I mean, I was ready. I was locked in. I was ready to sign the contract. I was like, I don't need to tell the other people. This is fine. I got an agent who's interested, who wants my book. And then to my shock, a second agent a week later was like, "Yes, I would also like to have a conversation with you." And I was like, oh my God. So we had a lovely, amazing conversation. And she also was like, "I would like to represent you." And I was like, this is amazing. So now I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
I have 2 really good agents who are fighting for me. And I was like, what do I do? Because I don't want anybody to be upset.
People pleasers.
I know. And I'm like, they're agents. Occasionally, randomly, rarely they get told no. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they set it up even.
They know that that's the process.
That's the process.
They even said don't, do that.
Yeah. So the first agent, she was like, here's a list of some of my clients. You can email them and ask them about what it is like working with me. And so I did. And they said, "Oh, she's amazing." And she's like, "We have all of our all of the people that she represents are kind of in their own like Discord group, and we like support each other." But the other agent is someone I kind of knew. Like, she represented people from the writer's workshop, like people who are my close friends. And so I got to talk to them. And ultimately, kind of what it came down to is, one, I kind of already knew her. Mm-hmm. Tangentially, and I already have my writing tribe. I have the DFW Writers Workshop. So, and it is funny because I talked to Dana Swift, who I'm just name dropping, had a friend who had declined the first agent's offer and really regretted it. And so I was like, "Oh, what if I regret it?" And I was like, Alex is like, "You're not going to regret it because you're going to have an agent." And I was like, "Oh, you're right."
And one that you know is good.
Yeah. One that I know.
They were both good agents.
Track record of just like awesomeness.
So,
and I will interrupt to say, you're always still taking a chance. I mean, not an agent can still have trouble selling your book. I mean, it can happen. So you're still going to take a chance, but they were good choices. So even if it hadn't worked out, it worked out. But even if it hadn't worked out, you wouldn't have made a bad choice because you don't know. We could see the future just different.
We don't know. So ultimately, I was in the incredibly rare position to choose between 2 really stellar agents, and I picked one. So, and she's been amazing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what a dream.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. She was the whole time. I mean, she was really nervous. So, you're nervous. You don't know what's going on. But like I even said, I was like, "Oh, this'll." I called this one. I said, not because there's tons of good books, there's tons of bad books, there's tons of books that, but I was just like, and lots of times, but I was like, you got 7 people interested, and I wasn't surprised that most ultimately weren't, because that's normal.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, you got an agent, cool. Oh, 2 agents, okay, cool." And then I was like, that's great. That means that's a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and then the void, 18
and then when she sends it out, and I was like, you'll get an offer for something. It may not be a huge publisher, maybe a small publisher, maybe medium, but I'm saying you're going to get it. There's just too many people interested in this book.
Yeah.
And that was, and I'm going to tell the story about, I was on a walk. I'm walking and I'm walking back to that, and I look over and I'm like, "Who's that lady?" And at first I was like, "Oh, I'd recognize her. It's Sally." And she's running at me, and Sally doesn't run. I'm sorry.
He's right.
She doesn't run.
I don't.
But I was like, and she's just like, and I'm like, I know what this is. I know what this is.
And I see
she's not running over like that with bad news.
Yeah. And
the dog died. No.
Got it.
So and she was just like, babe, I I don't know. I'm good I'm glad. I'm very happy, but I was like, I'm not surprised like you are. So it was very cute.
And Alex is a pessimist, so look at all this positivity.
I'm a pessimist, but also this is just
about me.
Also, yeah.
I feel like you call it like it is, and you know that Sally was destined.
She was once that query letter hit, like again, all the steps. Things can always derail, but all that. But I was like, you got 7 people. It hit that group so well. It hit the agent so well. I'm like, this is just going to do it. It's going to do it because it's like it's always possible to derail. Life is full of luck, but when you got this much interest in your book, it's because it's not just. I mean, the luck factor is you can always succeed, but your book, especially if you're lucky enough, is the book of the moment. And I think, we can't talk a lot about the details, but like when your conversation with the publisher, it's like she was destined to write this book for them. They're like, we're looking for this, and we were looking for this, and we were looking for this, and we were looking for this, and your book had all of it. It was like, it's like, there's no way to know.
Right.
Because you never know what they're looking for.
And I think that's a part of the reason, too. We were talking a lot about writing to trend lately. Yeah. And I think like that's why you can't do it because it changes so fast. And the things that they want, like by time the trends are out, like they've already moved on. So like it's hard to...
So my first book, Gil's Off-Right Diner, like my editor, I was directly with the editor because I didn't have an agent at the time, but he calls me and goes like, he pitched the book and you got it. And that book did really well for me eventually. But he's talking about later on, years later, he was pitching to his editors in chief. That's often why your book struggles because you got to get to the editor and you get the editors in chief and all that. And they were like, well, we've got a lot of new authors this year. We don't need a new author. And he was like, well, it's pretty cool. It's got like a vampire and a werewolf. And those are very normal things, you know. The joke, of course, in the book is that the vampire is not cool and all that. But they didn't know that. He didn't say that. And they go, people like vampires. Okay.
All right. Man.
So that was like, not for him, he liked the book, but them, like that element, right? And that got me through that door, past them. Years later, it'd been optioned by DreamWorks Animation. They were working on a project, and it often at various stages, you know. But finally, I talked to one of the DreamWorks, like the head of DreamWorks, and he goes, yeah, we were really close to getting it done. We had written the script. We were about ready to start on it, like pay you the money and start on it. But they had released Megamind, and Megamind hadn't done as well as they wanted. And one of the reasons they thought was because Despicable Me had come out earlier. Mm-hmm. And they were like, 2 evil genius movies, 2 supervillain movies. They cancel each other out. The one won. Well, they literally heard through the grapevine they're working on Hotel Transylvania, some Sony, and they were like, oh, their vampire movie will beat us.
They'll get it to market first.
So we're not going to do a vampire movie. So again, that's just randomness of life, but it's like the vampire element literally won me my career and lost me an opportunity. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the book. That's it.
Right.
And so like, obviously you want to have good quality. I'm not saying that, but like, again, Sally's thing is good writing. Again, I think she's a great writer. I do, baby. You're great. But like also I said that when you hear the conversation, it really is like, we were looking for these 3 things, and Sally's, and they're like, well, where are we going to? Oh, here it is. Oh. Here are they all in the one book that I like. It's well written. So and my Vampire Werewolf is much more mainstream and easier. You know, you can always write, there's always going to be those. But Sally's things is very specific. It's like, we're looking for someone with antiques. So I got antiques here. And so it's like, what?
There was even an aspect of it that as I started writing it, I was like, this is not going to work. This is never going to work. And I was just like, but this is what this book needs. And then because it was a dual POV, it would vast age differences. And I was like, what am I doing? And then they're like, we love this. I was like, yes. But how do you know? You don't. You just write it.
You don't know.
Which is why we just keep doing it and keep doing it.
And I also love, like, to your point with the vampire thing, it's like there's tons of vampire stories, and they were still like, oh, we like vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes that's the other thing we shy away from, too, is we're like, well, people have done this before. Like, it's whatever. And it's like, that can work in your favor.
There's perennials. I mean, there's perennials, you know, Maverick Cop, Vampire, Forlorn Love. I mean, these are good elements. And you can use them. And sometimes, I mean, in fantasy and science fiction, they're always talking about like, are we done with vampires? I mean, we've been saying that since before Dracula.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Never.
I've definitely been to conventions where the agents are like, stop sending me vampire stuff. Or like at the Gong show, they'll gong when it's a vampire. They're like, vampires are dead. And they're like, I'm not making a joke. They're just literally dead. But then the next year, 17 vampire books come out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's all like cyclical, and it's all waiting for that like thing that sparks it, that book that's different. You're like, oh, I've never seen vampires like this, or I've never seen it like that. And so I think, you just write what you gotta write.
But yeah, and in this case, I mean, Sally is exactly that. I'm going to write these things that I like in an interesting. You got to write well, in an interesting way. Even then, you don't have to write well. You can write badly, but hopefully, you write well. And then she does, and that's the combo that worked really well here. Your query letter sold your book, but even then, it wouldn't necessarily. If you got no responses, but the book, right? Everything worked really well.
It does happen that. So I hang out with Rosemary Clement, who would be a great guest on your podcast, by the way.
She would.
And she's very, very good at query letters, and she's kind of our query letter doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she will help you with your query letter, sometimes for a small fee. And I have definitely helped her write a query letter for a person whose book was probably not as strong. So what happened is the query letter sold the book to the agents that got the fulls into their inbox, but then the writing itself
sometimes, and
that happens a lot too.
Well, especially when you're new.
Yeah.
Well, especially because when you're starting out, they're always looking for a reason to reject you.
Yeah.
Because it's a bigger chance.
There's so many.
It's also just a bigger chance. A new writer, they don't. Your book's not going to set the world on fire. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. My books don't set the world on fire. So I mean, like I went on submission for my new book coming out, and there was a lot of rejections. I mean, I expected. It's not surprising, but I did know somebody would probably buy it eventually. But even then, rejection is just part of the business.
Which I also just want to reiterate for all the people listening. You said you had 18 years of 18 years, like that's almost 2 decades, y'all. Like sometimes it takes time.
It takes time. I will always. What'd you say?
Don't despair if it doesn't happen.
What'd you say, babe? This marriage and writing workshop are the two things you stuck with the longest.
Yeah, so far.
And one of them paid off.
One of them paid off, and you'll never know which one.
Oh, we know which one. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's funny. So when I joined the writers workshop, I joined it because like Alex and I were dating, and then we moved in together, and he's like, I'm gonna go to writers workshop every Wednesday for the rest of my life. And I was like, okay, cool, I guess I'll go with you. And I was like, I love reading, so I'll like to hang out with writers. And then I was like, I'll just listen. I'll just offer critique. And then after about 2 weeks, I was like, I could do this. I was like, there's writers of all levels here, but 3/4 of them I could maybe write better than initially. And then I was talking to probably like Rosemary or Jenny or somebody, and they're like, oh yeah, or it was probably Rosemary, because Rosemary, oh yeah, it took me about maybe 20 years to. No, that's not true, because Rosemary got it really quickly. Never mind. Somebody, and they're like, yeah, it takes about 20 years, and I was like, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. It's not going to take me 20. I'm a good writer.
We all think that about.
We all think that.
I think that is the collective delulu that we speak.
Yeah, you got to have a certain level of delusion. Yeah. Otherwise, how do you endeavor?
Yeah.
Or hope, as a guest pointed out. She's like, delusion could be hope. And I was like, well,
yeah. You're like, it'll take a while, but not as long for me, because I'm pretty gifted.
Yeah. Where you just think like, no, like the stars are going to align because I finally feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So like you have this, which I think is good, and it's important to feel.
You need that sort of
but I also
reckless optimism.
I think rejection is also
optimism.
Just super important, because I think it makes us all so much better.
So I have a degree in art, and honestly, a degree in art is just a degree in critique, like giving and taking critique. And so, like going to the writers' workshop, I was like, oh, this is just like a art class, but with writing. This is fun.
That's what my artist dad said too, and I was telling him about this every Wednesday. He was like, no, like you put it up in front of everyone and they rip it apart. I was like, And he goes, and you can't defend it. I was like,
And he's like, art.
He's like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah, shocking. Writing is art.
Yeah. Word.
And so we structure it like a master's program, don't we? Like the way that we.
Yeah, I wish we could give degrees, guys, because we'd probably have a lot. I mean, Alex would definitely have it, like a double master's at this point.
Yeah,
for sure.
Triple platinum PhD in the house. What?
If only I could get accreditation.
Yeah, if only.
20 years, and I mean, if you could go back, before we get into our hot takes, if you could go back and tell younger Sally anything, would you? Or do you feel like it all happened just the way it was supposed to?
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably just tell her just keep going. I mean, what else do you have to do? Like play World of Warcraft? Like, and the answer is I could do both.
Yeah.
Well, it happened. We officially talked too much.
So much, in fact, that there's going to be a part 2 of this episode.
I mean, you can't have 2 guests like Sally Hamilton and Ailey Martinez and not
get enough content for 2 episodes.
I mean, it's the way of things.
And it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
So, stay tuned.
Come back and see us.
I know you want to.
I know you want to, so follow and subscribe and happy writing.
Happy writing.
Thank you so much for listening to Witches of Workshop. Be sure to find us every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, if you want to be featured on Witches of Workshop, please send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com.
Until then, happy writing.